Imagine a world where dying in your bed was considered a disgrace, where a newborn child was placed on the cold floor and left there until someone decided if it deserved to live, where the most feared execution didn't just kill you, it turned your body into something unrecognizable. This wasn't myth. This wasn't legend. This was Viking life. Before we dive in, comment down below where you are joining from. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The Vikings are often remembered as warriors, raiders, conquerors, but that's only half the story. Because beyond the battles, there was a code, a way of living that was strangely disciplined. Deals weren't written. There were no contracts, only words, and a man's word was everything. Break it, and you didn't just lose trust, you lost your life. Oathbreakers, liars, were drowned, not just as punishment, but as a warning, because the Vikings believed, even in death, the punishment wouldn't end. They would drown, again and again, forever. To a Viking, there was only one honorable way to die: in battle, because only then would the Valkyries descend and carry your soul to Valhalla, the great hall of Odin, a place of endless feasting and eternal glory. But if you died in your bed, old, weak, forgotten, you didn't go to Valhalla. You went somewhere else, a colder place, a quieter place, a place ruled by the goddess Hel. And to them, that fate was worse than death. So what happened when a Viking grew old? When his body began to fail, when he could no longer fight, he asked to die. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. Relatives would build a pyre, lay him on top, and then send someone, not of the family, to end his life. The body would burn, bones collected, buried, and remembered as a warrior, not as a man who died weak. But the most chilling decision happened at the very beginning of life. A newborn child was not immediately accepted. Instead, it was placed on the ground, untouched, unclaimed, waiting. The father would decide, keep the child or leave it to die. Sometimes the decision wasn't even his. Dreams, omens, whispers from seers, all could decide the fate of a human life. And then there were the berserkers, men who didn't just fight. They transformed. Before battle, they consumed powerful substances, likely hallucinogenic mushrooms, and what followed was something terrifying. They felt no pain, no fear, no exhaustion, only rage. They screamed, bit their shields, charged into battle like something not entirely human. To their enemies, they weren't warriors, they were monsters. Death was not the end. It was a transition, a journey, and for a Viking warrior, that journey was elaborate. His belongings were divided, one part for the family, one for the feast, one for the dead. But he didn't go alone. Animals were sacrificed, and sometimes a slave or a concubine, one who chose to follow him into death. Before the ritual, she would visit members of the family, engage in acts meant not for pleasure, but as a final message, a ritual, a farewell. And then she too would die. Despite the brutality, Viking life wasn't chaos. It was structured. Slaves existed, captured in raids, used for labor, sometimes integrated into families, and sometimes they rose in status. Because in Viking society, fate was unpredictable. A warrior could become a slave. A slave could earn freedom. Everything depended on survival. But there was one ritual, so disturbing that even today, historians debate it. The blood eagle, a punishment, an execution, reserved for enemies. The victim was laid face down, the back cut open, ribs broken, pulled outward like wings, and the lungs drawn out, still breathing, still alive. for as long as possible. Not just death, but a message, a warning, a symbol of what happened to those who crossed them. The Vikings weren't just warriors. They were a people shaped by survival, by belief, by a world where honor mattered more than life, and where death was only the beginning. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.